I'm Jeff Hayes. My business name's Jeff Hayes Customs. We're in Bloomington, Indiana, my hometown, at my buddy's BMG Jet Center. And behind me, I have my 63 split window for Barrett-Jackson Scottsdale in January and a 67 convertible. This year we did kind of opposing colors, so we have kind of something different for this year. Take the one down we got. Okay. I've done it long enough that it is becoming a little bit more difficult to stay on the edge, stay current, and so on. I mean, there's a lot of really talented people out there and good car builders. We've kind of maintained a good level for a long time for a lot of reasons, but nothing lasts forever, and I think you're foolish if you don't feel that pressure. But yet on the other hand, it's you know, your competitive juices kick in, and you just, you know, it's like I want the car to do well, but more than anything, I want it to be at the top or near the top. So that's definitely part of it.
Back with the chassis once we clear this back end.
Yeah. Okay, I think I'm good. I am good.
I'm clear now.
It says there in the manual, this is what you do. We have talked many times about making some brackets that just fit onto the lift to do this, and this. I've always felt like doing it this way, at least you have a little bit of forgiveness in the straps and some of those things. It's interesting because we kind of live in the heartbeat of cars and racing here in the Midwest. I mean, I live 40 miles from the Indy Motor Speedway, and that is nice as a car builder because we have access to a lot of different avenues. That being said, I've always had a lot of respect for Rick Hendricks and Mr. Hendricks, and he bought last year's cars. They're in the lobby of his museum. It's been a wonderful thing for me. As strange as it sounds, I almost had to push myself a little bit to continue, just simply because as a guy from the Midwest that loves cars and loves building these cars and doing well, you second guess yourself to thinking, you know, what's next? It's not going to get any better than this. You start kind of thinking, okay, the next step's down because I'm already at the top. So that's been a struggle a little bit. You want to stay kind of on the leading edge of things, and so, you know, I'm a true believer that, you know, the split window is the iconic part of the 63 to 7 cars. Very much the number 2 I would consider to be the 67 convertible. So I wanted to stick with that concept as far as the cars, and then it became a matter of, okay, I need to separate that somehow with paints and interiors and come up with something. You know, I didn't want to just jump and do, for example, a silver concept with red interior, red line tires. You know, that's a nice concept, but it's like you're kind of, you know, getting boring with the concept and cookie cutting. I don't want to do that.
It's more fine.
it takes longer to get the concept kind of in your head or ideas, but then, you know, tweaking the paints and so along the way are a matter of a few weeks until you get exactly what you want. Sometimes that can be changed a little bit just simply because at first, you know, you spray a 3x5 card and then it's like, okay, let's take a quarter panel and spray it and put it in the sun, put it in the shade and those things. So it takes time, but a lot of it has just come out initially with a good concept. It's interesting because, you know, when you're picking out say you're going for the opposing concept, it's like, okay, I'm for sure you're gonna want liking this Ferrari Bianco Fuji Pearl White, okay, and then you switch to, okay, this is the hide, this is the blue, and then it was, okay, now I need a blue that's very similar to this blue in the interior as far as the exterior of the 63, but yet on the other hand, I didn't want it to, the split window to be boring or a solid color or no flake. So that changes it a lot. And then you do your spray outs, you see the hides together, you know, the contrasting colors, and then you see the paints together. And then at the end of the day, you know, you're in the shop, they've both been in the shop, but it's very difficult in that environment you can't really get back far enough to really get a good feel for what they look like together. So, you know, you get in a jet center like this where you can get back and get all kinds of angles and views of it. But now that I'm able to do that, I'm really satisfied with them, for sure. I really like this Ferrari Bianco Fuji that is on the 67 convertible. Last year, I kind of wanted to do a blue interior in conjunction with the pearl white. I was a little bit concerned that the indigo blue or the dark blue that is in the convertible, I was concerned that it would be too dark inside a coupe. I was afraid that it wouldn't contrast enough, so I held off on doing a blue last year. We did the tan. This year, after having some more time to think about it, I thought, well, I'll go with the blue in the convertible and then we'll do kind of an opposing colors things. So essentially what we have is a pearl white or a cream colored exterior with a nice blue interior, and then we did the opposite with the coupe with the exterior blue and the cream colored interior. I initially saw a yachting blue Porsche, liked the color on the yachting blue Porsche. We basically took that color and sprayed it out, and then it didn't really have enough pop or pizzazz to it. So we modified it with some pearl and some more flake and took some of the darkness out of the color, which helped a lot. It takes probably 3-4 months, you know, to get something that you're totally satisfied that, hey, this is gonna look really good, this will work well. But it started out as a Porsche color, and then we tweaked it a lot to make it have this look. Probably one of the initial things is there's a lot of guys that build these different. A lot of people really like the 67 big block hood. A lot of builders use a 67 big block hood on these cars. I personally really like the 63 hood. There's things we want to change along the process, but things that I think are really detrimental to the cars. On the 63s originally, they had these grills in this area. They called them cookie sheets from way back. They were just simply a piece of aluminum with a embossed painted black sections simulating a grill. We have a company that makes these for us that are CNC'd out, and they're all machined out nice and smooth. We take them, sand them down ourselves and try to polish the top, and then we actually paint the in-between section. These grills on the sides and in every opening have this same paint color that is in the wheels. It's the same as on the side pipes. So some more of bringing the colors around the car, trying to tie it all together. It didn't really look right with that finish on the top. They looked a little plain, so we polished the tops of them. Several years ago, probably 3 years ago, maybe 4, Shot got a hold of me. I've always used Shot wheels. They're an excellent product. But they asked me after the sale of a car, hey, we want to make you some wheels or do something different, anything you want to do. So I was pretty instrumental in designing this wheel or helping them design it. And they were building a wheel before called a turbine. So it actually had, you know, all these fins in it, but they were straight. And then they had a very, very small center to them inside. And then they made another wheel called a C10, and it actually had this center cover on it that covers the lug nuts and then that spinner. And so there were basically 2 to 3 wheels that had things about them that I really, really liked. And so I asked them if they could combine those. They combined them, and then one of the last tweaks that we did was making what they call a concave or convex spokes. So like these front spokes actually bow out just slightly. The rear ones bow in to make a concave setup, but it makes a real modern, more of a high-tech Corvette looking wheel. Shot calls them the Stingray, and it's been a really, really good product for them. I like the side pipes on these cars. Everybody does it a little bit different. We occasionally will do a rear exhaust, but a lot of the buyers of these cars really enjoy them having side pipes on them. So we take kind of a factory side pipe setup, which is usually just kind of an anodized aluminum looking. We send them off, we have them completely polished, just like the wheels. We do our best to tie these colors together. So we actually paint in the same color that's in the wheel or the grills on the hood and keep it all the same. And so it brings a whole different look to it. This color from the factory is black. So the polished part of it and then putting that color in there really helps them. One of the most iconic parts of a 63 Corvette is the split window. This started out years ago with GM. They were building the C2 Corvette. So they designed these cars. The coupe, they put this split window, which is simply just this fiberglass piece and 2 windows and then 2 complete trim packages for each window. It got to be a little bit of a problem for the people that bought them, because when you're in the driver's seat and you try to turn around to back up, it caused a lot of problems. So this is a 63 only thing. GM recognized the problem and they took this section out. So that is why it's a 1 year only deal. Strangely enough, over the years, there were a whole bunch of people after they came out in 64-7, and this was one solid piece of glass. There were a lot of people that had 63 split windows that actually cut this out and put a 64-7 glass in it because they wanted to have the newest, latest, greatest. I've actually bought cars that have had that cut out and then reglassed in and so on. But this is very, very unique, and anything unique brings value to these cars. There actually can't be that many of them left. I do know that when I started doing this 18 years ago, it was pretty, reasonably easy to find a 63 split window that had been crashed in the front, and we could, put a new front end on it and do our thing to them. As time progressed and myself and other guys are resto-modding the 63 Coupe because it's the leader of the pack, the quality of which you could buy these to redo really, really dropped. The color choice, I actually saw a Ferrari down in Naples, Florida, in the winter at a car show a few years ago, and it was a new 4088. It had the pearl white on the outside of it, and it had an interior that was very similar to this. I've never ever seen a Ferrari in that combination since then. Ever since then, I've thought I need to do that with one of these cars. I really felt like last year with this same Ferrari Bianca Fuji, I wanted to do the blue, but I was afraid that it would be too dark in the coupe because it's closed off so much. So I tried to help it by this Douglas carpet that we use is from the aviation industry, and it has some blue has a little bit of silver in it, but it has a lot of cream, which is very similar to the champagne. So by just using the blue hides and door panels and so on, and then using that champagne look on the carpet, it kind of ties it all together. When you open the doors with the lighting and stuff, it flows really nice. These convertibles, one of the trickiest parts of a convertible are the doors on them. These, by not having this fiberglass structure like you do in a coupe, these doors can be really, really challenging, especially to keep them in exactly the same spot that they need to be to maintain their lines. But we, in the last few years, we've gotten a few tricks as far as aligning them and making them perfect, but it can be challenging to fit these convertible doors and get them, these just are a little bit more limber than a coupe, and with a coupe it is hard initially to fit the door, but they stay and remain in that position, so it makes a big difference. One of the downsides to the convertibles are you have to have clearance for your 20-inch wheels here on the back, and it's interesting because there's a compartment here from the factory where the top folds down, and so it's a delicate balance in getting that top in that compartment and keeping it in that compartment where it will be available but yet clear your tire and wheel package. On the engine bays of our cars, and we've done this for many years, we actually put an electric hood actuator. It has a switch inside. You hold the switch and the hood raises up. You push the switch again and it lowers the hood. We started doing that personally because from the factory these cars have a latch mechanism that went in each corner of the engine bay. They aren't the most dependable thing in the world. They pop up and they're very hard to get to stay snapped. So we decided to get the kind of the ugly part of that out of the engine bay and do this hood actuator, and it's worked out really, really good for us. In the last probably 5 years, we've got to the point where we paint our engines, paint it to match. I always try to get a theme for the car. This champagne color that we have on the Stinger is the same as the engine. It is the same champagne color that is used on the wheels, on the side pipes. Part of the deal for me is I want something that comes up with a real nice rich look. I've had a lot of people say to me, I'm surprised when you have this blue interior, I'm surprised you didn't go with a blue Stinger on the hood. And my concern with that was that it would be too bold or too loud on the outside of the car. When the hood is down and everything's in place like it should, the outside maintains a real classy, continual flow to the look. And I didn't want to disrupt that by putting this super dark Stinger on the hood. And then once it was done with the carpet, which nearly matches the champagne color, it all flows together really good. In the last few years, we've been using this teak wheel. I really like these teak wheels, especially in the mid-year Corvettes. That was a factory option. We used to use a billet steering wheel that we would take some of this blue leather and wrap on the handle of it. We just kind of got to the point where a lot of guys were using that, so we came up with this teak wheel concept. We've done that for about 5 years and really like that look. The audio in a convertible, we use this company down in Tampa, Florida called Auto Sound. We use Polk audio speakers in the back of these. Definitely need a pretty loud radio, good reception in a convertible, but these do the job for us and it works well. On the inside of our blue split window, we put a cream interior this year. We wanted to bring some of the blue from the exterior in. We usually do that, but we have lots of stitching that is done with the CNC machine. It's all pleated and it's inserts that are into each seat. It has this exact matched thread to the outside paint color. We did our typical lighted door sills that are painted the accent color that is in the wheels and on the outside of the car. We've got the expanded metal mesh that we do in the doors with LED lighting that kind of wall washes it. We have classic instrument gauges, which do a real nice job. The gauges have the gray and nice pointers and so on. This radio company in Florida, the Auto Sound Company, they build a radio that's Bluetooth and AM/FM for the unique configuration that's in a Corvette. It's on these mid-year Corvettes. It's very unusual with the tuning knob and the volume knob at the top, and then the long vertical running radio. So I'm glad that someone makes a nice radio that works well with these cars, because it's modernized and that's what people want, but it still does not distract from the original look. We also put on this car, and we have always used, smoked glass. It accents much higher on certain colors than others, but on this car it adds a classy flair to it. Every glass in it is smoked, the vent windows, the side windows, the rear windows, and then it has a smoked brow along the top of the windshield. I would say the most challenging part this year as far as building these two cars is I feel like we've kind of gotten past COVID, we've gotten past supply chain issues, but I think in our nation we have this major labor problem, and unfortunately that trickles down. And so this year we had lots of problems with, you know, parts, supply chain, and so on. We could get them, it's just that they simply didn't work, or something was right on them, or so on. So that has become the number one issue this year as far as getting the cars finished in time and being able to make these deadlines. But it's just the quality of things that you're able to buy to build the car with. We're here today, mid or third week of September, doing this video work. The cars in the next week will be shipped to Scottsdale. They'll be displayed at the October Barrett-Jackson, and then Barrett-Jackson will house the cars from then on. They'll keep them in one of their facilities and take care of them and maintain them until January. It's always a little concerning in January. You get out there and see, you hope and pray that nothing's changed, and usually not. They have a really great staff. They do a great job of taking care of the cars, and no surprises usually. Jeff Hayes Customs, you know, that's of course my name, and I started doing this 18, 20 years ago, and I have a couple guys. I have two guys that work for me, really good guys. One of them's in his mid-60s. Him and I have been best friends for 40 years. I have a young man that works for me that has worked for me 9 years, and he's become very proficient at the body work and some of the details. And it's just a good mix between the two guys, and we've had really good help. It takes a big team and a lot of people that are the best at what they do to get this result, and we're not afraid to search out for that, and when we find it, we try our best to take care of it. In 25, we did, of course, what I probably would consider the apex of our car building career. We sold Mr. Hendricks, Rick Hendricks, both of our cars. They went to Charlotte to his museum, which I think is probably the best museum in the United States. And so you kind of go into it with a different mindset this year. It's like, well, I don't want to fall off the cliff and go tremendously down, but for me, you know, we live in the heartbeat of racing and so on, and I have a lot of respect for Mr. Hendricks, and I just know that you know, this year's a little different. I'm not sure that the same guy will buy both vehicles. They're not exactly enough alike that you would feel a great urgency, I don't think, to buy them both. But we hope to come up, you know, with possibly the guy that could pull the trigger on that, or at least a good buyer for each one. at Barrett-Jackson Scottsdale, January of 2026. I've been out here, actually today makes 7, 8 days for me. Feedback's been really, really good. We've got, of course, you get all these good comments and compliments. It doesn't mean the car's going to be bought or sold by them, but it's always good to hear, that people like the cars. So that's been good. Usually the biggest comments I get, it seems like, is the quality, the consistency. We come here every year. I had a guy this morning come up and say, hey, my wife and I came here. First place we came is here. We don't even look in the catalog to see what you've done because we want to see it in person, get a first impression in person. I was a little bit concerned about the blue on the 63. I've been on it trying to do this real classy thing. The blue and the high metallic on the 63 Coupe is a little more aggressive and so on. But I've really had some great comments on it, and a lot of people who've seen it are just all about it. So that's a bit of a relief for sure. One of the things that I have really encountered in the last couple of years is the people that are super rich that have the ability to do whatever they want to do. For whatever reason, a lot of those guys won't wear credentials. I don't know that they, are afraid you'll figure out who they are or what's going on, but I try to not really screen too much by, okay, this person doesn't have a bidder's pass, so I'm not going to talk to them. First of all, I'm not that kind of person, and I would help out anybody, but it's interesting, you get a person that you talk to, you don't know them from Adam, and then you find out they bought your car, or they're the president of some company or the owner of some big company, and you're foolish if you overlook the fact that it's another person that's interested in your cars. To the best of my knowledge, I've been told that there's 70 Corvette resto-mods this year. It's interesting to me because every year, we seem to kind of rise towards the top, and there's more and more people that think they can do that or want to do that. So they build a car, they bring it out here. It is a little bit more pressure. This year's probably the first year that I've ever seen that people are just going around and really picking each other's cars apart and so on. Had a guy in this big corral where there's 20 Corvettes behind us here yesterday send me pictures of, some stuff that's not done correctly on other people's cars. And I told him, I said, hey, be careful throwing stones. None of these cars are perfect. We all do the best we can do, but you guys get to picking each other's stuff apart. That's just not a smart thing to do. I hope everybody in here kills it, and I think when you go into it, kind of doing that underhanded, spatting, stuff is stupid, in my opinion. But place I don't want to go, for sure. But I've been out here 8 days, so weather wasn't a problem for me. I know that we have this big ice storm, snowstorm, blizzard that's going to really encompass a lot of the southern half of the United States. So I have good friends that are really heavy hitter buyers that have been here for most of the week, that are flying home today or flying home yesterday. I know there's other guys that, are towards the East Coast that had every intention of flying out and being here that have contacted me and just said, hey, we're not coming. We don't get stuck out there. We're concerned about the weather. So who knows? I mean, I don't know that it'll impact the real, top-notch cars, maybe. But I'm concerned for the guys a little bit on the medium level or lower level that that mass group of people's not here to drive the price up.
Or on the white?
No, probably on the white.
Okay. Laying it on the car.
Shirt on, and I'm like, it's not really ever been that.
There you go. You're welcome.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. You?
Good. Exciting day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're rocking.
We'll. Yeah. It'll be just fine. Have a good one. Hey guys, how's it going today? All right?
First stop.
Yeah.
We're like, we are coming there right away.
Morning. How are you? I remember you.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
Good to see you.
Nice seeing you.
Yes. You hanging in there these days? Yep.
Good to see you again. I'm Alex.
Hi, Alex. It's Super Saturday, Barrett-Jackson's January of Scottsdale. I've been calling it Super Bowl Day. We've been playing for 2 years trying to get here and get everything perfect, and it's kind of the Super Bowl of car stuff out here. It's fun to do it. It's nerve-wracking as heck on this day, but it's competition. It's challenging, and just do the best you can. And so far, it's worked out great. I'm feeling good about it. It's been a little bit sketchy because of the weather, keeping some of the buyers from coming in and out of here, but there's still, I think, enough strong people here to make it happen and do right. So it's good. It's all good. They tell me that I should probably run around 4, so I would guess that about 2 o'clock, something around 2, we'll pull out. I would. A lot of that depends on how things are going, in the meanwhile. But yeah, 2 o'clock, go out there and try to keep people off these 2 cars for 2 hours out in the staging lanes. That's hard to keep your cool at times. I've done this for 20 years, and so after a while, you kind of get to the point where it's like, hey, get a little more confident and know how to handle yourself and handle the pressure. And wouldn't say I'm great at it, but I'm a lot better than I used to be. What do you think, my man? Today, you too. You too.
Man.
I hope you kill it too. It's baloney.
So do you know about what time you're going to go across the
They
block?
tell me, but like 3 to 4.
3 to 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, because I want to make sure I'm out there.
Yeah.
I wanna
Oh,
see
yeah.
that. I'm probably going to record
things
that
will. They try because a lot of people get excited about these, and they try to kind of put me in the middle.
Someone's got to upgrade, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hey, we'll get to see you. We'll catch up. Yeah, best of luck, buddy.
The cars look pretty good too.
Hello everyone, my name is Nathan Moultrie. We're at Barrett-Jackson 2026. My company's Moultrie Motor Cars from Tucson, Arizona, and we're here with my 1963 split-window Corvette LT4 swap. So starting my company, I focused on early Broncos actually, but coming to Barrett-Jackson over the past couple of years, I was inspired by Jeff Hayes. He's turned into my role model, my inspiration in this company to put together beautiful C2 Corvettes. Man, so his 67 Champagne Gold car with the same shot wheels that I have on this vehicle, the second I saw that, I thought that was the most beautiful body style I'd seen, and the changes he made inspired me to not want to use my 2 college degrees and go sit behind a desk and work for somebody else's dream, but to create the exact same platform that he did and just carry on beautiful cars for the future. So last year I brought a 64 Coupe that I actually grafted the split window into, but when I met Jeff for the first time, it was about 2 years ago, and I just told him my plan that I wanted to do exactly what he was doing. I said, what's the platform I could lay down to where I could turn into you in 20 years? And he told me that if I just work my ass off and be a good person to everybody and form valuable relationships, one thing leads to another and we can put together some great cars. Like just seeing him on TV selling his vehicles, seeing him at shows in beautiful spots. He is my absolute role model, and just meeting him for the first time, having to be one of the coolest guys I've ever met in my life, was just a weight off my shoulders knowing that there was somebody else here supporting me as well.
Scotty, you want me to rip this one up?
Yeah, good idea.
There we go.
Yep.
What do you think?
Woo! It'll be fine. Be better when they're sitting out there all pretty. You all right, buddy?
Game time.
Yeah.
Yes. About 20 minutes. I'm in staging right now.
Yep.
Hey, they started.
Yeah. Yeah, he probably won't be able to go any sharper. So, yeah. Yeah. Woo. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for all the help. God, it's beautiful. Woo! No pressure. No pressure. We'll see how
you out of?
Indiana.
Indiana,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yep.
Got him going for next year? You got him building already?
I got one at the painter.
Painted?
I got one at the painter. Yeah.
What's that?
Hey, buddy. How are you? Good.
I had to hear it though. I had to hear it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nasty.
Sounds great.
Little rumble, but not ugly. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. The stress factor out here is a little high tension for sure, but it's okay. I've been here. I can handle it.
I'll see you after.
All right. Take care, Ham, will you? I know you have for a long time.
I don't see any couple. That's still good. No, look at this. Look at the interior of this thing.
She built this. No, she built one of them.
I told Bruce today, say, ask if it's his or hers.
hood button. So you pull it back, push it, goes down. When it goes down, just let off the button.
It'll self-close.
It'll self-close. So when I pull up there, we're going to open them, and then you guys will have to sit down. Yeah. Yep.
Good luck. As soon as you move, we're going to walk inside because the key
All
is
right.
right behind you.
Yeah, it'll be good.
I hope you ring the bell and make a lot of money.
All right.
Go get it. Go get it.
Good luck, buddy.
Thanks, man.
Custom 1967 Chevrolet Corvette convertible, completed in September of 2025 by Jeff Hayes Customs. It is powered by the LS3 hot cam motor, 540 horsepower, paired with that Ford L70E automatic overdrive transmission.
I'm heading it now, buddy, paying, have it on it, I'm heading it now 50, now 75, and 75 at 100, 100,000 on it, down, I'm gonna get now 125, 125,000 on it, down, I'm gonna get now 125, high, 125,000 on it, 125,000 on it, down, I'm gonna get now 125, high, down, I'm gonna get 125, 50, 150, 75, 175, and 175, high, down, I'm gonna get 175, 250, and 225, and 50, and 250,000 on it, down, I'm gonna get down 250,000 on it, and 250, now 75, now 3, and 3, and 300,000 on it, now 325, 50, and 350,000 on it, and 350, 75, 400, and 400,000 on it, and 400, now 25, 50, and 450,000 on it, and now 500, and now 500, 5, now 25, and 525, and 525, 50, and 550,000 on it, down, I'm gonna get down 550, and 550,000 on it, down, I'm gonna get down 550, and 550,000 on it, down, I'm gonna get down, I think you're all out, now 600, and 575, and 600, now 50, and 650, and 650 here, and 650,000 on it, down, I'm gonna get down, go ahead, Tanner, 650,000 on it.
It rides on that Art Morrison sport chassis, polished Willwood 4-wheel disc brakes. The exterior is finished in that incredible Ferrari Bianco Fuji purple with that white oyster convertible top.
50, I'd had to get now 650 is bid, and with Rogers in now 700,000 on it, and 700,000 on it, and 700,000 on it, I'm gonna get down second half and 7, and 675, and 675, you want 75, and 675, 700, and 700, and 700, and 700, and 700,000 on it, I'm gonna get down, what do you want, and pay to get down, 7 to get down, 7 to get down, 7 to get down, 7 all through, all done, and 700,000 on it, and 700,000 on it, I'm gonna get down, 700 is bid, and 725, and 725 and a half, sold for $700,000, Roger.
Here's lot number 1368 next. This Scottsdale auction vehicle has been chosen for the first round of the 2026 Fantasy Pit Game. Custom 1963 Chevrolet Corvette Split-Window Coupe, completed by Jeff Hayes Customs, powered by the LS3 hot cam, producing 540 horsepower, and a 4L70E automatic transmission.
I'd had to get down, buddy, paying, having it on her down, I'm had to get down to get this thing, I'd had to get down, $1 million. I'd had to get down 70, I'd had to get down 50, and 100, 100 now 50, 100 and a half, down, I'm going to get down 1 and a half, and 200,000 on it, and 200,000 on her, 2, now 50, 3, and 75, 3, and 300,000 on her, now 325, 50, and 350,000 on her, 400, and 350, 75, 425, and 425, and 450, now 500, and 500,000 on it, and 5 now half, and 525, 50, and 5 and a half down her, down, I'm going to get down 5 and a half, down her, down, I'm going to get down 5 and a half where, and 5 and a half, and 5 and a half down her, down, I'm going to get down 5 and a half down her, down, I'm going to get down to get this thing, I had to get all through, all done, and 5 and a half, Tanner, go ahead at $550,000.
This Corvette is finished in that beautiful Mediterranean sky exterior paint. The interior features the Capri sand leather upholstery with the blue stitching, and it rides on the shop wheels with the white line tires.
I put Casey in at 525, asking 550,000 on it, and 550, and 550,000 on it, down, I'm going to get down 5 and a half, and 5 and a half on it, pay to get down 530, 540, and 540,000 on it, and 540,000 on it, down, I'm going to get all through, all done, and 540,000 on it, and 540,000 on it, down, I'm going to get down, stick around, and 540,000 on it, 540, and 540,000 on it, down, I'm going to get down to get this thing, I had to get down 540 and a half, sold for 530, God bless you. Camille.
Specialist update to your catalog on lot number 1370. Here's an updated description on a rotisserie restored factory V-Code 1970 Plymouth Cuda convertible, representing the most desirable combinations in the Mopar performance lineup. The powered by the 440 cubic inch 6-barrel V8 motor, 390 horsepower, heavily documented with a wise elite validation.
It happened. They sold. A little disappointed. Kind of a bummer, really. Big step down, but you know, if it was straight up, it wouldn't be a challenge. So it's still all good. Still profitable. Still excited about it. But I think there's too many resto mods in this auction for sure. So sometimes when that happens, you gotta take what you can get, and I think that's what happened. But it's okay. Convertible did great. Yeah, 700. 700's great. 530 for this is pretty disappointing. You know, I mean, it's a lot of car for that. So somebody could be real happy. This is honestly probably one of my first big steps down. But I think what you got to keep in mind as a good human is, you know, there's ups and downs to all of it. I think we went through COVID. We went through all the PPP money, and I believe our country is kind of trying to find the level playing field for everything again, and this is probably a step towards that. Yeah, I think the blizzard, you know, coming across the United States has been pretty hard on it. I mean, a lot of the big guys that are always all over everything, they didn't make it out, you know, so that takes a lot of money out of the room for sure. You just figure out what you want to do next, and it is what it is, you know. So still good, still a good thing to be part of, still a good thing to do. But you know, it's easy to stay here for a week and everybody tell you your car's going to do this, and it's hard not to buy into it for sure. Now it's down the other side, and I probably won't slide down the other side too far. So yep.